Greetings, audacious souls. Welcome back to the shadows of Echoes of the Dark. Tonight, I invite you into a tale where whispers persist and shadows linger long after the last candle flickers out. This is The Widow's Fan. Our story begins in the heart of a Victorian estate sale. Antique dealers swirl like crows over fallen spoils, their fingers brushing against relics of splendor. Among them is Madeline, a young woman with an eye not just for beauty, but for mystery. The fan catches her attention immediately. Intricate, with an ebony frame, silk in the deepest night adorned with embroidered stars, it whispers seduction and sorrow, both. At the center, a delicate inlay swirls into a mournful widow's silhouette, her small hand forever clutching the fan's frame. The seller, an aged man with a face furrowed like a plowed field, offers no explanation of its origin. But when Madeline offers her price, the man refuses with a startling vehemence, warning gravely, "Let sleeping widows lie." Defiant and intrigued, Madeline doubles the offer. Unable to resist, though visibly shaken, the man lets the cursed object slip through his grasp. And so, the widow's fan enters her life. Back home in her dimly lit apartment, Madeline becomes captivated by the fan's craftsmanship. Every shimmer of silk, each delicate stitch, speaks of obsession, and yet, something other. That night, she cannot resist. She performs a little ritual of staging, unfurling it beside dim candlelight. The flickering flames waltz with its fabric. The elegance unveils a scent of gardenias as old as aching memories. In the distance, faintly audible, a woman's sigh. Madeline's skin prickles. The sigh seemed to come from within the room, though she is utterly alone. She convinces herself it was merely the wind outside her window, though the night is still as death. The days that follow are a haze. Madeline's life begins to warp. She is consumed by thoughts of the fan. She isn't eating. Her paintings gather dust. Her friends grow concerned when her voice on the phone grows distant, detached, even defensive. She accuses them of being jealous of her most recent masterpiece. "It isn't just an object," she insists, voice touched with a manic edge. Each night, the fragrance of gardenias grows stronger, and sometimes, from the corner of her eye, she glimpses a figure standing near the fan. A woman in Victorian mourning dress, her face obscured by a black veil. But when Madeline turns, nothing is there. Her dreams change too. She finds herself wandering through opulent ballrooms, wearing gowns of another era, a familiar fan clutched in her gloved hand. In these dreams, she watches a handsome man dance with other women, his eyes never meeting hers. The jealousy she feels is visceral, choking, and entirely foreign to her waking self. One night, in obsessive exasperation, she takes to her studio to capture the widow's fan on canvas. The room smells of turpentine, as candle shadows duel on her walls. She sits before her easel, the fan perched on a crimson pedestal. She paints feverishly, strokes quick and fluid. Her own breathing matches the frantic rhythm. Hours stretch, obliviously. Beneath the hum of her heartbeat, whispers echo beside her ear, so soft she wonders if they are her thoughts. "He betrayed me," the voice murmurs. "He deserved what came to him." When Madeline steps back at dawn to see the final painting, her blood runs cold. The image in full realization is monstrous. Where she expected her usual mastery, she sees a gaunt, pale widow, skeletal and silent, holding the fan. Her eyes are black voids, and within one of them, a reflection of Madeline's screaming face grows clearer the longer she stares. Panicked, she throws a sheet over the canvas, but the image seems burned into her mind. Overwhelmed by dread, she decides to confront the man who sold her the fan, desperate and trembling. When she arrives back at the estate sale's originating address, she finds it abandoned, dilapidated, and overrun with weeds. but her pounding footsteps inside the echoing hall catch the attention of a creaky attic door, ajar, and inhaling her like a drawn breath. She ascends the stairs, each creak bowing the tension of her pulse. There, scattered around the attic, lay old trunk boxes, spilling papers, heirlooms, and dust. And there, confirmation, an obituary marked Helena Mayfair, beloved wife, and grief unending. Helena Mayfair had graced the late 1800s as the belle of the city's operatic circles. The widow's fan had once brushed applause from her cheeks. It had also concealed her tears when her husband fell violently, tragically ill beneath whispers of betrayals unspoken, a poisoning unyielding but never solved. Helena never remarried, never recovered, her image spectralized in legend as the perennial mourner. Madeline's fingers tremble as she discovers more, a coroner's report suggesting arsenic poisoning, love letters from Helena's husband to her younger sister, and most damning of all, a journal entry in Helena's own hand. The fan hides much: my tears, my rage, the powder that slowly steals his breath night after night. He will never leave me now. Even in death, I shall be his only widow. And the ending note in old scrawled script sends an eerie shiver along Madeline's skin, reading, "The widow walked for the fan commanded she must conceal. To her possessors, beware discovery." As Madeline absorbs these words, the temperature plummets. The scent of gardenias floods the attic, and the papers around her flutter without wind. When she looks up, she sees her, Helena Mayfair, standing at the top of the stairs, veil lifted to reveal hollow eyes and a knowing smile. "You know my secret now," the apparition whispers. "All who learn it must join me." Terror propels Madeline down the stairs, out of the house, and back to her apartment. She resolves to destroy the fan, to end its curse. But when she arrives home, the fan is not where she left it. It sits open on her bed, still carrying that faint scent of flowers and decay. That night she dreams. Chaotic, incomprehensible shapes fused with emotions so impossibly sad. Torn faces plead to her in the fog, reaching out hands she doesn't understand. 1,000 gestures begging release. From what? From her? In her nightmare, she's Helena, standing over her husband's deathbed, fan clutched in white-knuckled fingers as he gasps his last breath. Then she's another woman, decades later, wasting away as the fan sits on her vanity. Then another, and another, all previous owners, all claimed by the widow's curse. She doesn't awaken until there's a knock. 3 sharp raps, like axes to her dreaming shackles. When she wakes, her room carries an unnatural chill, and in her arms, she's unknowingly clutching. Yes, the cursed fan. She can't explain how it moved to her bed from her display. Creaks, floorboards protesting intrusions, near the window without a breeze. When she whirls, Helena Mayfair stands shadow-struck, gaunt as the painting, skeletal and glaring with unspeakable accusation in silent, stormy eyes. "Why have you come for me?" Madeline whispers, voice trembling. The specter's lips curl into something resembling a smile. "I have always been with you, since the moment you took my fan. Your hands now carry my guilt. Your soul must bear my punishment." The widow glides forward, her form becoming more solid with each step. Frost patterns bloom on the floor beneath her feet. Her skeletal hand reaches out, obsessively reclaiming her fan. Madeline scrambles backward until she hits the wall. "I'll destroy it," she threatens. "I'll burn it to ashes." A hollow laugh echoes through the room. Many have tried. The fan remains, just as I remain, just as my secret remains. In that instant, Madeline understands with terrifying clarity. The fan isn't cursed because it belonged to a murderer. It's cursed because it holds the evidence of murder. The silk, dyed with arsenic-laden pigments, was the murder weapon itself. Helena had killed her husband not with poison in his food, but with poison on her fan, wafted before him night after night, slowly delivering death with each elegant movement of her wrist. As this realization dawns, the widow seizes Madeleine's wrist, her touch burning like ice. "You know too much," she hisses. "The secret must be kept." The fan snaps open between them, and as it does, Madeleine feels her life force being drawn into it, her very essence absorbed into the midnight silk. She tries to scream, but no sound emerges. Her vision dims as the widow's form grows more vibrant, more real. With her last moment of consciousness, Madeleine sees the inlay on the fan changing. The silhouette of the widow now has a companion, a second figure forever trapped within the ebony frame. 3 days later, a concerned friend discovers Madeleine's apartment empty. The only thing out of place is a Victorian fan, displayed prominently on the mantel, its silk now showing 2 mournful silhouettes, where once there was one. The scent of gardenias hangs heavy in the air. At the estate sale that follows, a young collector with an eye for the unusual spots the fan immediately. As she reaches for it, an aged neighbor warns her gravely, "Let sleeping widows lie." But some warnings fall on ears too enchanted by beauty to heed them. Some secrets demand to be discovered, even at the cost of one's soul. And as the collector's fingers close around the ebony frame, somewhere in the shadows, 2 widows wait to welcome a third.